Destiny 2 Deep Stone Crypt. The 8th raid released in Destiny 2 is also my personal favorite raid in this game. Yes, this is easily, without a doubt, my #1 favorite raid, not only in just this game, but in Destiny as a whole. I seriously love this raid. Not only do I think it has just some of the best mechanics and just some of the best things to make you play as a team, but I just feel like it also has some of the best vibes for any raid. Not to mention a pretty good conclusion to the story that Beyond Light was trying to tell. Depending on your thoughts on that DLC is completely up to you. Me personally, I kind of liked it, and you know, my love for this raid especially helps that kind of grow. I will die on this hill saying that Deep Stone Crypt is the best raid in the game.
You will suck! Steve or if he wants you to! You will suck his you understand? He is our bread and butter, you mother.
This is, for me at least, the best raid Bungie has done, in my opinion. Before this, Vow the Disciple was actually my favorite raid, but then I finally got around to doing Deep Stone, and I gotta say, I love it. That's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go ahead and talk about this raid. I'm gonna give my little review on it, you know, this little stupid ass video I got going on. Other than that though, getting this intro out of the way, let's actually move into the discussion for the raid. But before we even do that, I know I just led you on there for a second, a quick recap. So, Bungie released Beyond Light in November of 2020. It was supposed to be released in September, but you know, that whole COVID thing happened. I don't know if you remember that, but the whole world was pretty much shut down for like a couple months. I'm sure there won't be any future delays for any other expansions in the future, Bungie. I know I can trust you guys, right? Right. Anyways, Beyond Light came out and we got the story for it, which is essentially our introduction to Darkness, which is the new subclass we got, Stasis. We finally have ice abilities in Destiny after 6 years. Can we just have a moment of silence for Bungie actually doing something new with the characters and it not being fucking Matterspark? We get introduced with Darkness through Beyond Light, where we unlock the Stasis subclass by fighting the Fallen, who are actually using the Stasis power as much as they can. See, there's this person called Aramis, and she's like kind of pissed off that the Traveler kind of abandoned them, and now she's using the Darkness along with uniting all the Fallen houses together to say, hey, fuck the Traveler. We're gonna go ahead and do our own thing. We're gonna kill anybody with light, especially those dirty clankers. I don't know what it is, but every race in Destiny has a beef with the Vex, and I think we could all unite together in saying that those dirty clankers deserve to die. So we go to Europa and we help Varix along with the Exo Stranger in defeating Aramis and unlocking our Darkness and unleashing our dark side. Go ahead and insert that picture of the wolf ripping his shirt off, dude. That's exactly what this DLC is. So while exploring Europa, we do some Empire hunts, we take down Aramis for good, and we control Darkness to our leisure, essentially. Now, as Guardians, we now both control the light and the dark. And halfway through the campaign, we get a little teaser for our raid.
Atrax. Critus and I can handle this. Return to the crypt and prepare the body.
We got frozen there, we got a beautiful shot ending of the campaign, and a couple weeks later, Bungie releases the Deep Stone Crypt raid, and little did I know, because I wasn't playing this game in 2020, but they did end up releasing my favorite raid ever. I love this raid so much, dude. I'm about to play it again after this, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I mean, that's essentially the story. I personally liked it. I liked the introduction to Darkness. They essentially did the same thing with Lightfall, but we'll cover that when we talk about Root of Nightmares, aka God's worst creation. But without further ado, let's talk about the encounters of Deep Stone Crypt. The raid opens up with our Guardian dropping in on Europa in the Eventide Ruins, where we go into this corner of the map, kill some Fallen, and then this bunker opens for us. This bunker isn't actually the Deep Stone Crypt, but it is the entrance in going to the Deep Stone Crypt, if that makes sense. It is the bridge. Like, I don't know why I'm explaining it. We're just gonna move on. The first section of this raid, if you even want to call it that, it's not even an encounter. It's just literally a Sparrow section. We're gonna go ahead and call this first section Frostbite, because if you stay out in the freezing cold for too long, you will die to frostbite.
Do it. All right. This is. I'm really
frosty right now, by the way.
It's this buff that keeps on lingering, and once it hits 10, you're dead. It's done. The way to counter frostbite is by going into a bunch of these heat bubbles where Fallen are waiting for you to shoot you and light your Sparrow up and pretty much kill you, because, I mean, yeah, they have every right to do so. It's a really simple section. You just follow the lanterns, or if you have the surfboard, you can literally just hold circle and just fly through the whole thing. It doesn't even matter. It's really not that hard. I'm not gonna rate the traversal sections because, I mean, it's just the area in between the encounters. And this is before even we get to the first encounter, so I mean, like, realistically, well, what score can I give it? But after we leave our second airlock, we then go into another cave system where we finally reach the entrance to the Deepstone Crypt. And what an entrance it is. It is hidden away from Europa pretty far. Our first encounter of the raid, Security Breach, and we're not talking about the FNAF game. This encounter is very simple. This is the entrance of the raid. Once we get past this room, we enter in the labs where they cook up all those dirty exo clankers. This is essentially what stands between us and a lab where we could cook up some fence. So let's go ahead and get past the security system and get to the real business as to why we're here. There's going to be 2 buffs appearing. There's going to be a 3rd buff later in the raid that we'll worry about when we get to it. But for now, we just have to stick with the 2 that we got. There's going to be an operator buff and there's going to be a scanner buff. The person above is going to get the scanner buff after killing a Fallen carrying it. You pick up the buff and then you'll see these windows aiming down into the bottom area where you're going to have your runner. On the walls there are going to be these panels that will either be glowing yellow or they won't be glowing yellow, and then the ones that are glowing yellow, you tell your runner, hey, these are the ones you gotta shoot. There's going to be 5 total on each side. There's going to be also a light and dark side where you want to split up your fire team so you can maximize your idiocracy, because doing this with the LFG group is a nightmare, especially if you don't have mics. But like I said, it's very easy to learn. You just have to have patience. Me though, I don't have that, so I end up just leaving and finding people to carry me, because again, I'm not that good at this game. Then they're going to deposit the operator buff upstairs. Someone just needs to pick up the buff. They don't have to do anything with it, because now they have to pick up the scanner buff to see which fuse you have to shoot. There will be 6 fuses total, 3 on each side, and these fuses are some tanky motherfuckers. You need good DPS to destroy these fuses, or else it's a wipe. Like everything will kill you in a raid. Let's face it. Let's just call it how it is. But your runner downstairs is going to call out which one is the correct one to shoot, and then once you do shoot it, then the door on it will close, and then it'll be destroyed, and you just move on to the next ones. It's a really simple encounter that doesn't take too long to understand. It's an encounter that makes ad clearing important, because if a servitor spawns, you have to kill them in order to pass the buff. I'm like saying, dude, this raid makes, did you hear what I just said? This raid makes ad clearing important. Oh my god, I love it. Other than that though, I give the encounter about a good 10 out of 10. I'm being real here. I don't feel like it drags on for way too long, and I feel like it's a really good opening encounter to a raid. Like, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I think this is the best opening encounter for a raid. The next encounter is what I would personally consider to be the best encounter in any raid I've played thus far. Because, oh my god, bro, it is intense. It requires a good teamwork, and Titan Thunder Crash, aka my #1 class and subclass, is extremely important in this raid. Crayon Eaters for the win, bro. Anyways, we go into this lab where they're cooking up some dirty clankers, and we get probably one of the most frightening scenes in any raid. Something about Atrax beating up on the glass after seeing 6 guardians that he just wants to completely, murder and bash their skulls in is pretty scary. It's a very scary scene, and the fact that he almost broke the glass too instead of crawling away like a spider, yeah, that would have been bad for us. This encounter is a 100% damage check. Plus, it has one of the craziest moments in any raid. We go from Europa to the space station above Europa. Oh, it's so good. So you should probably have 4 people on your fire team go up and then 2 other people stay down. Or if you want to do 3 and 3, that's fine, whatever. It really doesn't matter what order you do this in, so long as you got people up and people down. And once the people on the ground team find the operator buff to shoot the panels, to, bring the elevators back down or whatever that is, I really don't know what... escape pod, for all I fucking know. Anyways, yeah, once they go into the pod and then back up into space, then everyone is there, then we could go into the DPS phase for Atrax. and you have to time your attacks perfectly or else it's 100% wipe. Just make sure you got Thunder Crash Titan, aka me. Man, any Deep Stone Crypt I see, I join, bro, because Thunder Crash Titan is goated here. Anyways, yeah, you just have to just completely unload all your damage on. Well, I probably should have used a better word. You just have to do as much damage to him as possible so you can go down to last stand. All you gotta do is just get the scanner buff again, find the right version of him, because there's still like 6 million clones up there of him, and just do more damage to him before he wipes your team, and you're done with the encounter. But it's such a good encounter because, again, everybody is crucial here. You don't have just 2 people doing the whole encounter while the other 4 are just sitting there with their dicks in their hands waiting for their guys to tell them, hey, we need you over here for like 2 seconds and you can go back to doing what you're doing. No, everybody is crucial here. Plus you have to kill servitors, but you got to kill them at the right time, because if you kill them early, it's a wipe probably. I'm giving this encounter a 10 out of 10 without a doubt. I mean, it's so fun to do, man. Like, this is easily my favorite encounter in any raid. I seriously believe this is such a well-designed encounter. Before we get to the next encounter, we get easily one of the best moments. Not one of the best, actually. We get the best moment in any Destiny raid, and it's not even an encounter. Bruh, did you seriously just talk during Deep Stone Lullaby? Yo, you got 3 seconds to leave my fire team before I rain absolute hell on you. Something about hearing Deep Stone Lullaby while I'm jumping through Europa takes me back to being a kid again in 2013 winter break, just playing Skylanders. I don't know why it gives me that vibe, but it really just does. I really can't explain it, but it's such a beautiful piece of music that it genuinely brought a tear to my eye. No bullshit. First time I heard this, while hearing 3 grown-ass men that I call my best friends in my ear talking about some dumbass Warhammer thing that I really don't care to even think about, it brought a tear to my eye, listening to Deep Stone Lullaby. Not just because the moment was perfect and the music is beautiful, but because I knew I wouldn't experience such a beautiful moment again for a long time. And it really pains me to hear, but it's just such a beautiful moment. I will never forget that first time listening to Deep Stone Lullaby. Also, another cool thing is you could actually see where the Atrax encounter took place, because it's literally right there in that big ass window. It's a shame too that Deep Stone Lullaby is interrupted by one of the most common audio lines heard in any jumping puzzle.
Guardian down.
Yeah, apart from that though, this is easily a 10 out of 10 moment, without a doubt. Just jumping around Europa and listening to this masterpiece of a soundtrack is just... I love it. I love this so goddamn much. And it really does pain me that the next encounter is probably my least favorite encounter of the whole raid. Rapture/Descent is not by any means a bad encounter, but compared to the other stuff we got to do in this raid, it's easily the weakest. The buffs and all the mechanics we've learned thus far are included, but we get a new thing. It's called radiation, and you get it from picking up these nuclear cores, as you suspect.
Kakarot, this cancer thing is pretty strong. I don't think I'll win.
And we get a new buff introduced called Suppressor. All the Suppressor has to do is pretty much go around shooting these floating beach balls, and then the operator shoots panels, again, who would have thought, and the scanner has to see which box you deposit the nukes in, because there are going to be 4 boxes that appear in the middle. You just have to call out which one is the correct box on the left and which one is the correct box on the right. Sometimes it's both right or left, you never know, it's different every time. And this is just an encounter that would make Oppenheimer proud, because you have to deposit nuclear cores about 6 or 7 times.
Says, now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
I'll let you do the hand gesture. You can't see me do it, but I'm doing it. And eventually the encounter just ends. Don't get me wrong, everybody is still crucial in here. You need people with the buffs, obviously, but you also need people carrying the nuclear cores, which is usually just a people who don't have the buffs, and you just got one guy ad clearing and taking out champions. Ad clears here are absolutely necessary. Dude, those champions will fucking murder you. Another thing too to note is that in this run I had, I just lost a scanner buff out of nowhere. I don't know how this happened. I didn't deposit it or anything. I just lost it. Yeah, and then my fire team was yelling at me as to why we're not getting callouts. Buddy, I lost the buff. I told them that we're chilling now, but I don't know. It just up and vanished just like that. The scenery change as you're putting in the nuclear cores, though, it's just gorgeous. Like, on one hand, you just see Europa out there, you just see space, and on the other hand, you see this fucking hellfire around you. Just like a visually appealing encounter, if that at all makes sense. Anyways, I give this encounter around like an 8 out of 10. I feel like it lasts just a little too long. Anyways, once you eventually dropped in enough cores, then you'll hit one of the best lines in this raid.
Orbital collision remains imminent. Clever little rats.
I'm not about to sit here and give you a deep-ass meaning as to what he meant by that, but I mean, dude, it's just like these 6 Guardians going in here and just fucking up his plans to nuke Europa, and then just calling us rats. It's so good. It's so good because deep down we are rats. In every raid, we really are rats. Then this door will open, you go down into this hallway, and then you run all the way to the end. And then you see the doors close, and then this happens.
Humanity's fate is now on you. Best of luck.
Guardian down.
Dude, and then we crash back down to Europa. Oh my god. Everybody good? Everybody good? Alright, we chilling. The space station just straight up fucking blows up, and it's one of the best scenes in any raid. Your Guardian gets up, and your only source of light is from your ghost. You are in a third person, your body is clearly hurting, as you can tell by your shield being completely down. You pick up your loot, you go down whatever remains of this hallway, because we nuked the fuck out of this thing. And we're met with a familiar sight. After we crashed onto Europa, we conveniently land in front of the crypt that we entered. I fucking love this raid. Actually seeing this for the first time, and seeing it every time, gets me so hyped just looking at it, dude. Every single second in this raid is a privilege. But without further ado, we get into our final encounter for Deepstone Crypt. In front of the crypt itself, after we just crashed down to Europa. It's so peak! Anyways, you rally to the flag, you go up to this debris that's in the middle of the map, and Tanix just fucking jumps out of nowhere. Just straight up chicken jockeying a shank. All 3 buffs are going to drop again, and you're going to have the containers to hold the nuclear cores. But the nuclear cores come just before the DPS phase. Now Tanix is going to go to a side of the map. It could go to either the blue side, the white side, or the orange side. Once he goes there, you want to shoot the 4 propellers he has, and then all 4 of them are going to drop a nuclear core. All you want to do here is just take the nuclear core and just take it away from him. Put it in the 2 boxes that just aren't on his side. After that though, you enter DPS phase. He's going to go in the middle where he awoken from his slumber, aka just shot out of that debris, and he'll create a sort of bubble where you have to step in it in order to damage him. There's also going to be this floating debris around that will knock you out of the bubble. It is a very annoying feature. And after that, I mean, you just chunk the fucker. I mean, it's a raid boss. Big ass damage check. But once he is dead, you will have access to your loot and potentially one of the worst exotics in the game, Eyes of Tomorrow, which I don't have, so I can't give a clear opinion on it, but after reading what it does, honestly, it sounds like a really shitty exotic. But we'll talk about weapons later. Overall, I give this encounter a 10 out of 10. Again, everybody is useful here. 10 out of 10. Boss fight is awesome. We get a returning boss from Destiny 1, and we get to finally put an end to him. The crypt is amazing. The setting of this raid is amazing. Everything in this raid is amazing. I give it a 10 out of 10, bro. And that is essentially every encounter in Deepstone Crypt. Now let's go ahead and talk about the positives. First of all, every encounter is amazing. The only reason I rank Rapture and Descent that low is just because I think it lasts a little too long, but also because the other encounters are just so fun. And that's another thing too. Every encounter in this raid is fun. It doesn't feel like a chore to do. It doesn't feel like it's unnecessary. I genuinely have fun in every... I'm not... Hold on, not even just genuine. I Lokercuanly have fun in every single encounter of this raid. Because, which leads me to my second positive, everybody is involved. In every encounter, ad clears are crucial, especially in the first one, killing servitors. And even if you're not using any of the buffs that spawn, I mean, you're still either depositing nuclear cores, you're still either doing crazy amounts of damage to the bosses. Like, everybody is crucial here. Third positive, the boss fights. Every boss fight in this raid is amazing. If you want to call Crypt security a boss fight simply because of how tanky the fuses are, go ahead and do that. But every boss fight is just so fun to do, and it's a nice learning experience as well for people who are new to raids. Probably the best positive for this raid is the soundtrack. Not even just Deep Stone Lullaby. Crypt Security is also a fantastic soundtrack. The second to last part of this video is going to be the loot for the raid. If I'm being completely honest with you, at first I didn't like the armor too much. I thought it was a bit weird, especially because I'm a Kabir Titan enthusiast. But honestly, the more I play this raid, the more I like the armor. I like the holograms on the armor everywhere. It all looks super nice. Then for the guns, including the exotic, there is a total of 7 guns to get. The heavy ammo LMG for this raid, it's pretty good. I think the one from Vault of Glass is better if I'm being honest, but this one is still pretty good. One of 2 of my favorite guns in this raid is the shotgun, known as Heritage. This was my first weapon I got from this raid, and I'm a big fan of shotguns in this game. Next up, we have the hand cannon Posterity. I have not fired this gun yet. It's sitting in my inventory. I'm assuming it works like any other hand cannon would, so yeah, there is that. Then my second favorite gun from this raid is the Trustee Scout Rifle. It is just like the Crota's End Scout Rifle, where holding it down fires at full auto. It's just such a fun gun to use, man. We also have the Sword Bequest. It's a sword, again, not really much more I could say about this thing. However, I did hear one time in an LVG group that someone said this was very good in Crota's End. I used it. Didn't have the right rolls on it, but I mean, it did help us finish the raid, so there is that. And lastly, we have the primary weapon, the Succession. I did use this thing. Works like any other sniper rifle. Again, I can't really tell you the rolls on it, but the weapons are pretty good in this raid. You have a good selection. Can't really say the same about the exotic, though. Eyes of Tomorrow is certainly a exotic. It has the colors of an exotic. It has an ability, I use that in air quotes, of an exotic. But it really doesn't work like a fucking exotic should. This weapon is capable of tracking and firing at multiple targets simultaneously. Do you really want that for your heavy ammo slot? Let's be real here. It seems like a fun concept, sure, and if I had footage of it after doing this raid for 10 fucking times and still not having this weapon, I would show you. I hope you guys can really see now why this is easily my favorite raid in the game. I love every moment of this raid to death. So good, especially when it comes to the story of Beyond Light, and also with every encounter just being absolute cinema, bro. Every encounter in this raid is peak. I don't think anything can top Deep Stone Crypt for me. I really don't. This will forever be my favorite raid ever. Before this, it was Val the Disciple, but then I played this and I was like, yeah, bro, this has got to get out the way. This is the best raid in the game, in my opinion. And I really hope that I changed your opinion on this raid if you ever had a bad one on it, which I don't know why you would, but there are people like that exist. All in all, though, guys, thanks for watching. I hope I made you smile, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.